I've heard someone speak on temperature codes about EX equipment, and I've seen these marks on labels and quite frankly don't know what they mean. Are they important to know? Of course they are. Hello, and welcome back to the Explosion Protection Professional Micro-Learning Series. I'm Bob Johnson, your learning facilitator and guide through the world of explosion protection. In the previous video, you learned about the properties of gases and vapors and the groups they fall into. Today, we demystify the understanding of temperature or T codes that we see of EX equipment and realize, like we learned in our last video, that not all flammable gases and vapors have the same characteristics and why it is essential to understand what T codes represent and why they are important in the selection and installation of EX equipment and systems. T codes will apply to gases and vapors, and every flammable substance will be assigned a temperature code. Concerning gases and vapors, the T code represents the auto-ignition temperature of that particular gas or vapor and will be designated by the letter T followed by one of 6 digits, 1 through 6. With regards to equipment, they too will be assigned a temperature code or T code, which represents the hottest relevant surface temperature of that equipment under normal or fault conditions. Based upon the T code, it is our job to determine whether that equipment is suitable for that particular gas. The 6 T codes represent 6 different temperatures in degrees Celsius. T1 stands for 450 degrees C, T2 stands for 300, T3 stands for 200, T4 stands for 135, T5 stands for 100, and T6 stands for 85. This means that a gas or vapor with an auto-ignition temperature of above 200 degrees but below 300 degrees would be assigned a temperature code of T3. A gas or vapor like hydrogen has an ignition temperature of 560 degrees C. So since it is above 450 degrees C, we would assign H2 a T1 T code. Acetylene, again, one of the most explosive gases in industry, has a reasonably high ignition temperature of 305 degrees C and is given a T2 rating. Notice that in our last video, we learned that hydrogen is a very volatile gas, and we characterized this as a 2C gas. That can be difficult to select equipment for. In the case of T codes, this is not the case. All EX equipment that is certified will never have a relevant surface temperature above 450 degrees C. So in the case of hydrogen and temperature codes, all EX equipment will be suitable for hydrogen based upon T codes. In the case of acetylene, the only EX equipment not appropriate based upon temperature codes is equipment-based T1. So I mentioned the relevant surface temperature to get back to the equipment selection criteria based upon temperature codes. Depending on the protection concept, this could be inside or outside the enclosure or equipment. If we use flame-proof equipment, the relevant surface is the exterior of the enclosure. If we use increased safety as our protection concept, the relevant surface temperature is located in the interior of the enclosure. In our advanced learning program, the EXPP Competence, we will dive deeper into the mechanics of pertinent surface temperatures. The T code in relationship to products also depends on the maximum ambient the particular product is suitable for. All EX equipment will be rated for a specific ambient temperature range and marked as such. However, if the product is not marked with a range, the default for that product is minus 20 degrees C to plus 40 degrees C. In some parts of the world, the ambient temperature can be above or below the stated ambient range of this equipment. It is not allowed to use EX equipment outside of the ambient range for which it is designed or certified. From a temperature code standpoint, the Mark T code will always be based upon whatever the maximum ambient temperature the equipment is suitable for. The T code may change as the ambient temperature increases because the relevant surface temperature will increase because of the elevated ambient. So now you have learned how T codes are an essential consideration when selecting EX equipment, an important item that cannot be overlooked. For those of you who want to learn more, feel free to visit academy.bartec.com, your digital learning hub. Subscribe and enjoy our learning offering in explosion protection, awareness, and competency. Follow us on LinkedIn, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and visit bartec.com. Reach out to me, and I will personally answer your questions. Thank you for joining us today. In our next video, we will learn how you can identify protection concepts, gas groups, and temperature codes in a marking string to know where a particular piece of EX equipment can safely operate.
If you want to go beyond explosion protection awareness to reach a higher level of competency and compliance, please visit our Academy website. Email at academy@bartec.com, call us at 281-214-8542, or reach out to any of our partners and BARTEC offices worldwide. It would be our pleasure to send you the brochure and information about our digital and in-person explosion protection professional competency certification program. You will receive a BARTEC Academy EXPP certificate and have the option to obtain your IEC EX certification of personnel competency for you and your whole team.